I thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to observe that this is in my opinion, not a great bill, to put it mildly, and I'll yield to the gentlelady from California.
Thank you for yielding. It's very nice to be able to have a second entry into this. And Mr. Chairman, before we go to the amendments, and since there was no hearing on this bill, I'd like to ask a question of counsel. There you go. In this bill, you directed the Corps and EPA to engage in a second and third round of public comment on a new proposed clean water protection rulemaking. What is your estimate, or can you, well, I call it a guesstimate, on how much this arguably duplicative effort is this going to cost our taxpayer, the federal agencies, and can we have a reasonable amount? I know it's hard to pinpoint, but how much money has been spent on the 6 different times that this has been introduced, the 12 years has gone back, and then what would this cost for a new rulemaking?
Initially, to respond to your question, with the current proposed rule, there has been 1 round of public comment. And this rulemaking has been in place for a year and change at this point in time, and not 12 years per se. Now, there have been other activities, for example, development of guidance upon which the rule is based, the proposed rule is based, and that was a choice of the administration to go the route of developing guidance when frankly, they should have been going the route of actually developing a rule. We have requested from EPA some cost information regarding some of the facets of the rulemaking, especially regarding the public outreach activities that they have said they have conducted during the public comment period, and to date we have not received any information.
And the cost of this bill, sir?
The cost of the bill, if we have not gotten a CBO estimate, but if it is like the CBO estimate of a prior piece of legislation, there were no significant costs being identified by CBO associated with this. That it would incur a little bit of additional cost from the standpoint of doing a rulemaking, but would not have a major cost impact.
You mean to tell me that with all the questions, that all the comments that have been received, the amount of personnel it takes to review them, assess them, report on them, there would be no cost?
I didn't say that there wouldn't be any cost, but the costs have not been specifically quantified, and from the, again, based upon the, remember, as I said, we have not received a formal CBO estimate on this yet. We will get one after the markup, and but based upon prior legislation, we would expect that CBO would not be expressing any major concerns regarding the cost of the legislation.
Sir, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, it's kind of hard to believe because the taxpayers are always asking us to conserve money and not so much government interference, so thank you.
I thank the gentlelady.